Greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome to my 200th video review. And right as you can see, we're doing something really special today. We're doing Takara Tomi's Encore number 23, Fortress Maximus. As you can see, this is just a massive box. I mean, here we'll just take Mr. Soundwave there and put him in front of it, and you see Mr. Soundwave is very intimidated by that box. Alright, he came with a lot of things, you know, like came with the sword and, you know, the head Spike, and then Cerebros becomes his head. He came with, you know, Gasket and Grommet, who form Cog. You can see them barely on this picture here. And it's a very large, heavy box with a heavy figure in it. And it came with this nice card. There's his tech specs on it, so you can see them. Alright. Nice artwork on the back, G1-like artwork, like on there. Alright. And the side of the box here, we got, you know, the robot mode. There's Cerebros, city mode. Down here is ship mode, battleship mode. Same on that side. On the back, you've got this lovely G1 artwork of Fortress Maximus and all the headmasters fighting, target masters, things like that. 6 shots even in there. Really nice. I mean, this is very nostalgic right there. And you see, just like on the original boxes for Transformers, change, shows you the different modes. My favorite city mode, and I'm going to start showing off the figure in city mode simply because it's the easiest to work with in this space. I'm not going to show the transformation. It's very clunky. It's simple. Each transformation only has a few steps, but because of his size, it's just not easy to do on camera. So to make it easier, I'm just going to do it off camera. I hope you guys don't mind, but as you can see, by judging by the size of this box and how much it's taking over my review space, yeah, this is how it's going to be. Alright? So I'm going to get him into city mode. I'm going to put him here in a review spot. I'm going to set everything up so we can take a look at something that has been a huge want for me since I was a kid. Now, this is actually a gift from my good friend Carrie, the same one who sent me all that stuff around Christmas time. This was actually part of that. He had pre-ordered this for me. Now, I did help him pay for some of it, you know. I'm not going to tell you how much I put into it, but needless to say, this is great. This is just fantastic. I mean, Carrie, if it wasn't for you, I would never have this in my collection. It probably would have been, you know, by the time I could have afforded to even get this reissue, it would have probably sold out. So, yeah, this is this is my holy grail. I actually don't know where I'm going to go as a collector after this, because getting a figure like this, pretty much, it tops it out for me. I don't know. My want list is now shrinking fast for as far as figures that I would like to have. There are other figures I would like to have almost as much as him, but this was it. This was the top right here. And I know a lot of people say that he was the top, and I'm so glad Takara did the reissue on him. Alright, so enough jabbering about the box and everything else. Let's get right on to the figure, shall we? Be back in a minute. Okay, we have Fortress Maximus here in his city mode. And as you can see, he's rather large. I mean, this is my normal review box. He's taken up the whole thing, and to get him in frame, I have to go beyond what he normally is. Now, I've got sitting on him some of the Protectabots. See Blades here, sitting up on the helicopter pad. You know, and I'm going to be getting in the frame every once in a while. Here we have Cerebros. I know it's hard to see this far back because my lights are all forward, focusing on Fortress Maximus. Cerebros, you know, he's a headmaster. He's got his little tech spec doohickey. Let's see if I can get him in the light and zoom in. There you go. There's his tech spec thing. Alright. And he came with this little sword and his gun. I don't think the original Cerebros had the sword. But, you know. As many know, Cerebros is Fortress Maximus's head. So not only does he have a headmaster, but he is a headmaster himself. Now his head, if I can get it off of here, is actually Spike Witwicky. At least in the cartoon it was. So, forgive me, this is not easy to do with such a large figure as Fort Max. But here you can see, here's Spike. He's got a nice silver face. You know. Got a flap here. Fix that. Flap there that covers up Cerebros' face. It's kind of loose. You know, it's holding now, but it is kind of loose. Sorry about that. Alright. Wrong way. There we go. Now, in this mode, Cerebros can also become the computer to control Fortress Maximus in this mode. So transform him real quick. Kind of something like this. Some weird hunched over Star Wars walker thing. But it goes... He goes over here. Now I'll move Fortress Maximus in a minute and show you where he goes. But he goes over there. Let's get the Protectobots out of here because we don't need them anymore. I'm just showing them off for scale. And Fort Max also comes with gasket here and grommet. Let me zoom in on these two little guys. Gasket is the one with the guns on the top, and here's grommet, the tank one. They form cog. Alright, and it's really simple. You just pretty much come back out here a little bit. Take these off, plug them in like that. I had this on there so it could be a gun. This is actually, see that? Can go in his fist, and these just slide together, and you get Cog. And he's not a bad little robot. Now it's hard to show off a lot of the gimmicks in here. Down in here, if I can show it, there's a little turntable back here. And it lowers, as you can see there's an elevator coming down. An elevator. If you put a car on there, it comes up to here. And there's a little switch here that when that elevator's all the way up, it'll launch a car off of the ramp. I'm not going to do that. There's a little wheel here that turns the radar dish. See, nice Autobot symbol here. Just all the way around here. You can see Cerebros here. See if I can zoom in on that. Cerebros there. Is the computer to control it. Alright? Got stairs going up here. Things like that. It's a nice city mode. I will give it that. Really nice. It even has a prison for like small Decepticon figures. If you want to put like a small Decepticon in there, you can. Let's see if I can find a little figure here we can fit in there. Here, we'll just use Not Huffer. I'll use Not Huffer. And he doesn't want to go in. Hey! He might be too fat. But you get the idea. You can put a figure in there. Usually a small one. Nothing too major. Alright. So yeah, that closes up. A lot of these things just close up. He's got, you know, a cockpit back here, but that's more for, you know, the ship mode. I'm going to turn him into ship mode, and we'll be right back. Alright everyone, here's Fort Max's spaceship mode, and you can see it's even more massive than the city mode, because the legs are now pretty much all the way down. Let's see if I can zoom in on the tower there. Turn it a little bit. You can see I got Spike up there. You know, he can drive Fortress Maximus from up there. You know, he got a lot of guns on him. A lot of guns, just massive guns, and yeah, this is a pretty cool mode, but really it's really hard to do anything with this mode because it's so massive. I mean, just everything about this figure is massive. So yeah, I mean, basically the back end is the same as the city with the ramps there. As you see, the ramps are actually going off the desk there. The only difference is you put these guns down pretty much, you move the legs. You know, he's a triple changer. Sort of. Triple changing headmaster. There aren't too many of those. So this is really cool. It's a nice mode. I prefer the city mode over this mode, but this is still a good mode either way. So give me a minute, we'll get to the main event. We're going to put him in his robot mode. Alright, so I'll be back with that in a second. Alright, here's Fortress Maximus in his robot mode minus his head, because, you know, here is his head, Cerebros transformed as Fort Max's head. We'll zoom in, try and get him in the light here. There we go. And you can see he's a really nice head. Now the eyes on this are painted on the Encore version. The original, they were stickers. Now stickers were included, but the eyes on mine are painted pretty nicely, so I didn't have to go with that option. So that was all good. So, and he just slots in up here at the top, you know, as you would think. And see, yeah, this is my one small problem I have with this. This does not stay put very well. It's probably the one flaw this figure has, at least my version of it. Alright, now he's got a lot of hidden guns on him. He's got some here in his arms. I'm sorry for getting in the way of everything. He's got the ones in his legs. You know, he does have these big cannons that swing out from either side. Alright, let me just get in front of the camera here and get the other one out. See, there you go. He's got his big guns. All his guns are out. Well, actually, no, they're not. He even has small guns hidden. If I can get him to flip out right. Hidden in his fists. There we go. See that? Zoom in on that. Right there. Small guns hidden in his wrists. In the backs of his hands. That is just cool. Alright? Now, he came with one other accessory. This version did. This is actually an accessory that didn't come with the original Fortress Maximus, but came with, you know, the others. And he came with this. The Master Sword. No, not that Master Sword. Anyway, he can hold it. take that out. See if I can figure out how to get him to hold it. There you go. And that is just a massive sword. You could see in his hand, that is just huge. Now, he's a G1 figure, so articulation, you're not getting much. His legs, they only move at the hips. That's more for transformation than anything else. He does have shoulders and elbows and wrist swivels, which is not bad. Head obviously doesn't do anything because he's a headmaster. He doesn't have one of those, you know, tech spec things like Cerebros does. His is just straight up like that. Alright? Now, being that he's a G1 toy, he does have some die-cast. Now, this plate right here is die-cast metal. And then the hinge plate here on his leg, that's also metal. So he's a pretty hefty, bulky figure. Really nicely done. Yeah. Like I said, big thanks to my friend Kerry for getting me this. I mean, that's just... This is a gift that can never really be replaced. You know. It's just a massive, massive figure. I honestly don't know where I'm going to put this in my collection right now. I need to find a spot for him. But he's cool. And for those of us who couldn't get Fortress Maximus as a kid, or couldn't get one nowadays on the secondary market, because an original Fortress Maximus can go for, you know, up to $1,000 or more, depending on condition. This reissue is a real good way to get it. And I do recommend getting this reissue. Now, I know I didn't show every little detail of him. It's kind of hard with a figure this size. But, as you can see, he really is cool. Now, I'm going to give you some size comparisons before I go. I'm going to move him over, because I'm also bringing in some other massive figures. I'm going to move him back. Alright. First one, Masterpiece Soundwave. Alright. As you can see, Masterpiece Soundwave doesn't even come up to his knee. Or just barely comes up to his knee. That's not a small figure. He's just that massive. So, you know. We'll bring in just a Classics figure, just for ha-has. Here's Classics Bumblebee. He's tiny. I know Bumblebee's already tiny, but he's tiny compared to Fortress Maximus. Alright. Now, one more figure to compare him to. And we're going to compare him to the Year of the Snake, Omega Supreme. As you can see, Omega looks tiny next to Fortress Maximus. I mean, just tiny. But still cool. As you can see that, you know, he comes up not even to his elbow. And this is a big figure. I mean, he's almost as tall as Unicron. Omega Supreme here. He almost is. Fortress Maximus, for right now, still holds the record as the largest Transformer ever produced. That record is going to be shattered very quickly with the release of the new Metroplex, the Generations Metroplex. Because the Generations Metroplex, see if I can estimate, is about this tall. So, compared to Fortress Maximus. He's got about a good 2 inches on Fortress Maximus, maybe more. We're not 100% sure yet. There have been pictures of the two of them together, but they're teaser images. You don't see all of, you know, Metroplex. And for those who are wondering, Fort Max does have a rub symbol. It's right here under his chin, above this Autobot symbol. And it does work. And I love this. This is just, it's a great figure. If you really, I'm telling you, Holy Grail comes to people's mouths very quickly talking about this guy. And that's what he is. For a lot of us, he's a Holy Grail figure. He's a figure that many of us couldn't afford when we were younger. And now, thanks to this Encore number 23, we have an opportunity to have this. So there you go. I I know this probably wasn't one of the best videos I've ever shot. It's kind of hard doing a figure this size. I had been debating for a couple weeks now, since I knew he was coming, of where I was going to film this review. And the problem is, my best lighting in the house is here in my bedroom, because this is where I film my reviews. This is my desk, this is where I film my stuff. Usually the camera is right about here. Right now it's sitting up against my bed, so I had to get it that far back just to get him in frame. But I didn't want to, you know, white out all the background here. And I wanted you to see how large he is compared to what I normally review. So, recommended if you can afford him. Right now on Big Bad Toy Store he's $3.29, which is not a bad price for a figure this size and an Encore version of a figure that many of us thought we would never have in our collections. So highly recommended, highly recommended. If you want, go out and order them. You know, I don't have a link. I'm not working with Big Bad Toy Store. Put Spike on his shoulder there. And yeah. So you guys be good. He's got enough weaponry to fight World War III by himself. Be good. I want to send this big guy after you. And he's got these nucleon shock cannons. I don't think they're called that, but they called them that in Transformers Prime. Fortress Maximus grade nucleon shock cannons. Anybody else pick up on that one? Alright. That's it. I'm rambling. I'll see you guys later. Bye.